thank everybody for being here again. I want to thank everybody for joining us for another episode of From Nothing to Something. Like I've been saying in the past, that I have a surprise for you guys. I really do. I have a person here that is not only influential in my life, but in the life of many other people. Those people that know him appreciate his wisdom, appreciate his knowledge, his hard work and dedication to the trade. And like we've always said, our experiences are different. It's always good to get the perspective of other people. And what better than to receive that wisdom and knowledge from somebody who has been there and who's done that. Okay? I have a person that has helped shape me into what I am right now. Now, a lot of that is my own doing, but whatever good, I can honestly tell you that it comes from Gustavo Vargas. Gustavo Vargas is my older brother. I have two older brothers. One is not here right now, but I want to give him a shout out. Jose Vargas, aka Tito. You're not here, carnalito, but you are what helped us get to where we are right now. If it wasn't for you, honestly, we wouldn't be here right now.
Correct.
Right? And we want to thank God for that. You showed Gustavo, he showed me, and then he showed me, and it's a learning process. So thank you very much for that. I have here a very special guest, Gustavo Vargas.
Carnal.
Foreman, superintendent, husband, father, friend, minister, right? And I want you guys to get a little bit of an idea of what a wise person thinks and how he comes up with certain conclusions for every situation. Because wisdom are not just actions. They take a lot of planning, but they always go back to a certain thing that I'm going to let Gustavo explain to you what that secret is. And it's not so much of a secret. It's just not practiced enough or the way it should be. Okay? So we've always said that Gustavo on the job sites has a habit of bringing people together. We've used it in very good ways, some derogatory, but always I want him to explain to you what is the first thing that he does when he goes into a job site that he doesn't know, and he deals with people he doesn't know what's going on, and what his first thoughts are on that job site and on the people and how he handles himself. So for those people that are going into situations, now you have an idea of what it's like to be put in a certain position or situation. Gustavo, explain to us what it's like, what goes through your head when you first go into a job site, a big job site, small job site, a lot of people, a little bit of people. How do you handle when you first get there?
Yeah. It's nerve-wracking, right? I'm no different than anybody else. I have been told that I have a very calm spirit. I am going to tell you what, share a couple of experiences that I have had in the past in different companies. One of the companies, my upper management told me that they were going to send me to those projects because they liked how calm and collective I was. I am very capable of shutting off all these noises. When everything is going crazy all around me, I am just able to just pause everything and just get in my own head and start, thinking and asking God how I am going to tackle certain situations. Heck, one of the companies, I was working a local job, 25 minutes from home, when my area manager one day told me that he was going to send me to Indianapolis, they had a project going over there, and he said he was gonna send me so that I can give the team words of wisdom. From me, I asked. From me, I don't have degrees, or you don't like it when I say this. I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I have been in the trade for 30 years, and I never like to talk about myself as being somebody that knows everything, because I don't. I have experience, and when my boss asked me to go do that, I said, okay, I'll go. But I didn't know what I was fixing. I didn't know what I was up against. I don't know what was going on in the project until he filled me in. And what was happening is that everybody was fighting with each other. They had superintendents, several foremen in the job, and I don't know, 20, 30 employees, and everybody was pulling a different direction. Wow. And people that were too good to take orders from just anybody, right?
Prima donnas.
Prima donnas, what we call them in our trade. The only thing I know how to do is just talk to God. And I've always asked God to help me find the good in people, which is something that you've always told me, how, why, But if there's one thing that I can tell that I'm good at, and not because of me, I am good at bringing the best out of people. I am good at giving people chances. I am good at giving people the opportunity to express themselves. This is what I always tell everybody. You have heard me say this in the past. I don't care what anybody says about me or about any person, because you may be talking about your friend and you may explain to me that he's this good and he's good at this, he's good at that and everything. But he may be good at those things, but he may have a very bad attitude that is driving other people away from that common goal, which is building a project together.
I've mentioned this many times before, and this is why.
Yeah. And I have no problem getting rid of people that are that good.
It's cold-hearted when you have to be. Like Joe Robinson once said, he said, don't take it personal, it's just business.
Yeah. And I've done it in the past. I've done it to where people have been in the trade, running a certain piece of equipment for 25, almost 30 years. And they're just too good to take instruction, right? But how many people do we have, or that you know of, I'm not going to mention names, that were barely coming up. Nobody liked them because they couldn't do anything. But all they needed was just a little bit of time.
I'm one of those people.
Somebody to invest in them. And I just told this to a young foreman Wednesday. I said, you're coming up. I said, there's two things that are going to get you farther than anything else in life. Number one, and I used to preach this to you all the time, always be grateful for where you're at.
Yes.
Always have a grateful heart. Approach everything with gratitude. Number two, what is the second one? Be humble when you're learning.
That's true.
Be humble and be grateful. Knowledge will get you places, but being grateful and being humble will allow you to stay in those places.
Having an open mind.
Having an open mind. I don't know everything. I don't. I am just an average Joe like everybody else. But it's like a backhanded compliment when people tell me, you go deal with that job. It's upside down. The superintendent, the general contractor, he's a very angry person. We're going on. We're losing. They don't like us. They hate us. I've been told that, and I get put in those places. And not that I turn it around, but I am able to get the people to unite and start walking together. and trying to get the project done. And take it however you may. There's no such thing as a really good. He's the best at what he does. He's a really good operator. He's a really good grade setter. He's really good at this and he's really good at that.
We all have room to learn.
We all have room to learn. And I haven't met anybody that has it 100% together. There's always something that we lack. For me, I can no longer operate equipment the way I used to ever since I got sick, and you know that.
Yeah, for a lot of people that asked me that question in the past, my brother Gustavo contracted valley fever, and he almost died. I was at the hospital several times. He almost died, and seeing what he used to be physically to what he is now, because it's a condition that affects you for the rest of your life.
But I still, even with that, I am always the first one on site. I'm always the last one to leave. My job will never lack. You'll never catch me unprepared, Abraham. My work ethic has never changed. I just have to put double the effort. And for that, I'm fine, because I still have to provide for my family. I still have to keep a roof over my head. I still have to provide for my kids. I am that guy that even when I was sick, and you know this, if it was not for my brother Jose that made me go to the hospital that day that I did, I would have died that day. Because I am not one to ever call sick. I don't even remember calling sick. If I'm feeling sick or whatever, I'll tell the guys, just stay away from me. But I always have a plan. And if I cannot get that plan to them verbally, I will text it to them. This is where we're starting. This is where we're going. This is where we're going to be by the end of today. This is where we're going to be by the end of the week. And this is where we want to be by the end of 2, 3 weeks, a month, however it is.
90.
It's not going to be perfect. We're not going to hit it. But if we do not set a goal, we're just going to be floating around.
That's true. He was at the hospital texting. Even his wife was like, put the damn phone away. Like, he's hooked up to machines and all this crazy stuff, and he's like, but I just want to make sure they remember to do this, you know? And so that is one of the things that he's not handicapped. Okay?
No.
He still gets down with the shovel. He's still climbing up and down hills, setting grade. So it's not like you got to push him around in a wheelchair or he needs a motorized scooter or a cart everywhere he goes. He's still able to do everything that he's able to do because, man, we've gone to work sick. We have gone to work. We roll off of bed in the morning. I got this from him. It hurts to get up in the morning sometimes. We can't. Our backs, our joints, we're injured. And nothing stops us from going to work. And there's been times where I remember in the middle of the night several times because some plates moved on the road and he got called and he had to go out there. So me seeing how he did things and how he took so much pride and joy because we like what we do, right?
I was born to do this. And it's not done till it's done.
Yeah.
It's not over till it's over.
Yes.
I know for a fact. Matter of fact, even when my time is up here on earth, I feel that I'm gonna ask God for a job over there up in heaven, and I'm gonna be grading streets of gold or whatever. I'm gonna continue this. I was born to do this.
You're gonna grade the roads
Move
up there.
mountains, move whatever, And like I said, I don't know everything, but I don't get stuck. I'm a problem solver. And you always got to have that mind. What did I tell you? And everybody else, don't come to me with problems. Come to me with solutions. Especially when somebody's running a piece of equipment that they have way more experience than I do. I always tell them when they come to me with a roadblock, and I always ask, well, have you thought about any possible solutions? No. Okay, then go think of a couple and then come to me, then we'll discuss. I know what I could say. I could always suggest, but that's how we get people to learn and grow,
You let people make their own mistakes. You don't go out there and micromanage everybody and expect everybody to do things your way because, like I said, what works for me may not work for somebody else. We all have different work ethics, different abilities. We all do things differently. So the way he operates equipment, slow and slow, and I'm high and fast. Sometimes literally. Love you, bro. But no, I'm just kidding, right?
I don't run equipment no more like I used to. You know, just plain and simple. If I am hired to be an operator, I will run the crap out of that piece of iron. But in my mentality, if you have a supervisor, you hire somebody to be a supervisor, and that supervisor is engaged in one single activity, which could be reduced to running a piece of equipment or saying grade or whatever, then he's not wrapping his head around everything else that's going on around. And we think we will set up people for failure if we do that. You know, unless I'm not a micromanager, okay? But I understand. Man, I worked for companies that they hated it when I sat on a piece of equipment. They hated it. Even now.
Even though you were good at it.
I'm on a dozer. I was on a dozer. I get on a dozer on a compactor, and I'm out there pushing, whatever. And superintendent will show up. He's like, "Why are you on it? Why are you on that machine?" So I had a little bit of time. How about this? How about that? All that is in place. Everything is in place. Everything is running the way it should. No, I just don't think you should be on it, right? What if something happens and you're busy? We're trying to get a hold of you on the radio. We're trying to call you, and I love it. I just absolutely love running equipment too. I can no longer run, the big scrapers or wheel loaders, because those, those.
Or the
my body
613.
can take it. Just being honest, right? But I am grateful for every day that I get, every opportunity that I get to do what I do.
The abilities are there, the knowledge is there. It's not just running equipment, so you have experience, not just running equipment, so you understand why certain people get into certain situations, and you're not going to go over there and offer your solution knowing that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah. So it's like you have to have been somewhere to understand it. Now, I always say that it's good to start from the bottom so that you can appreciate what it's like to be on top and know what the people on the bottom are still going through. So when certain things don't get done, you understand why and how to solve that issue. This is one of the things that Gustavo started.
Mm-hmm.
He started working manholes, breaking manholes.
As an apprentice labor. For
$12
an hour.
A labor with the, 270? Labor's 270? Breaking concrete, breaking asphalt. He knows what it's like to be on the shovel. He worked for a paving crew.
I'll never forget, about 30 years ago, 30 years ago, I was at Stanford. I was jackhammering. It was 8 o'clock at night. We had started at 6 in the morning.
Non-stop. You got the paving crew behind you.
I was jackhammering that day. The paving, you don't take breaks.
No.
I had grinders and everybody behind me, and I remember that superintendent rolled in like around 8 o'clock at night. And he stops right where I'm hammering. And he cusses me out, and he tells me, "That's why you go to school, mother effer." He said that. That's why you go to school. And I remember I just put my head down and I kept hammering. And I started crying. He did not know that my mom had just died. He did not know that I took the bus early that morning. And I ran from El Camino Real all the way towards the 101. The after goes by the 101.
Yeah.
Running all morning long to get so I can stand aside, get sent to work, just so I can come back. And he told me that. And I remember I just started crying, and I said, one day I'm going to be in your seat. I was making $12 an hour. And I remember that one time, almost all the skin from my hands was gone. I was hammering, using the hammer with my wrists. You know, when you pull and you hold with just your wrist, because you just
Can't
couldn't
take
grab
it anymore.
It was so hot during the day that your skin was gone. The blisters were so big.
Yeah.
And throughout the years, I worked for big, large companies that have helped me grow so much, and I owe a lot to the supervision of those companies. You know, companies like Goodfellow, one of the greatest companies out there.
Goodfellow Bros.
Goodfellow Bros, the upper management there. I'm very grateful for them. Companies like JJ Albanese, you know, right? Man, I am very grateful for the ownership and the leadership of that company. People that have helped me become what I am today. You know, and I've always believed in training my replacement. People that nobody liked, people that nobody wanted, that they gave to me, like I told you, as a last resort. You keep them, you fire them. But I end up having that uncomfortable conversation with them. And we have been able to turn these kids around, and now they're running work in all their outfits. That is very rewarding. And if you notice, I call everybody mijo everywhere I go, because I have a bunch of mijos out there that people did not want to invest in because they had bad habits and they were just not worth the time, right?
That includes older people.
Shoot. I had a 72-year-old that, at this past project that I just finished, I love this guy, 72 years old. He's always ran dozers up in the big hills, big, massive projects.
Freehand dozer.
Freehand dozer operator. And I was out there setting up stakes with the GPS, and he tells me, I want great stakes. I don't care for this GPS crap. Lo and behold, we took his dozer from him, and I put him in a GPS cap. And I said, sir, you're going to run this machine now. I don't want GPS. You put wood in the ground for me. So I put a few stakes. A week later, I go and I check on him. And I say, sir, see the little yellow button? Once I knew he was getting closer to start doing finish, I go, hit that yellow button.
Automatics.
The automatics on the GPS cap. He hits it, and I don't hear nothing from him other than him yelling at the scraper operators when they're cutting in the wrong places or leaving big windrows or whatever. Then a week later, he comes up to him and he goes, Goose. I said, yeah? I'm starting to like that GPS crap.
72 years old.
72 years old. I said, all right, good for you. He kept going. I stopped putting wood in the ground for him.
Save money.
Save money. A month later, he goes, hey, can I have a word with you? I said, yeah, go ahead. Because I got to tell you this. He kind of talks like Danny DeVito with that accent, but glorified, because these dudes, when I hear him yell, it's just Danny DeVito on steroids.
Yeah.
He says, you know, I was going to quit on you. I couldn't believe you make me run that GPS cat. He goes, but now I love it. I love being able to see grade and everything, right?
72.
And then I told him, well, I tell you what, next year when they call you back to work, you tell them, unless they put you in a GPS cat, you ain't coming back. He's like, yeah. So I've had everything from young operators to older fellas that, look, man, if there's anything good in me, and I've always told you this, is because I have learned to put everything in God's hands. And I don't know everything. I am not, you hate it when I say this, but it's true. I don't have the answer to everything, but I won't buckle under pressure. And I'm good at planning. I am very hard on that. I am OCD. And I like everything in order. And I believe in what has helped me become successful in my career is, yes, learning from people like from those companies that I mentioned, but the fact that I have a very strong work ethic, that I like to prepare, I like to get ready, And I like to be able to provide a work environment where everybody sees eye to eye.
Oh yeah, gosh, we've all been in those job sites where you ask yourself if it's worth what you're going through. You're unsure if you want to leave or not, but then the slow season's coming up and you put up with it, and all it does is make you bitter. You take all that stuff home. You've been on those jobs where nobody likes each other. And that's one of the things that we mentioned on the job site not too long ago, Nick Cherone, right? I'm not going to say the exact wordage, but my brother's got everybody hugging each other, right?
Not
Enemies.
really, but that's
No.
how you describe it.
No. Like, I never went up to people, what's up, man?
What's up, mijo?
Yeah. You know, these are people I didn't get along with. And now, hey, man, you want to come over to my son's birthday party and what have you? And
That's because you're getting soft.
yeah. they got me on the soft spot, right? You're so dumb. But, yeah. And we never want to be in those job sites where you have a know-it-all. There's always room to learn. I've always taught people the same way I was taught, is that teach people what needs to be done, but tell them that they can do things their own way and do things whatever works for them. You don't have to do everything the way he tells you to do it exactly, because everybody's different.
That's good. When people ask me how I want them to do it, I say, well, you're more experienced than I do. I am never going to bark people orders and tell them what I want.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're trying to achieve. This is where I want to be by the end of the day. And if something's falling behind and I go check on that person by, say, half a day or whatever, then we need to adjust something. Maybe he's not seeing something, or maybe I directed him to do something, that I perhaps don't see it. That's why this is what I tell them. Give me the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
What you leave behind will tell me where you're at, how much you know. As you're making progress, as you're moving forward, I am able to see what your mind is like, what you're seeing in your head.
I should be taking notes right now.
And at the end of the day, when the day is over, I ask everybody to look back. You know this, I've done it. I've done it with you, and you've mentioned Nick Cherone and several other people. Look back, and you'll be able to see whether or not you left it all on the line that day, or you just milked it all day long.
You either give it your all, or your all is never enough. That's it. You either give it your all, or you didn't do enough.
And sometimes I will set unrealistic expectations. I've made a few people cry at work, a few grown men cry. I set unrealistic expectations because I want everybody to always have that goal, to aim for that. Even when I know that they're not going to get it done. But they have something to look at. Right? And they're pushing. And at the end of the day, when they come and they say, hey, I didn't get it done. And I tell them, I knew you wouldn't. I just don't want you to be relaxed. I don't want to give you little by little, because then you're going to be sitting down twiddling your fingers trying to figure out what to do next.
Don't do the minimum.
Or you get cocky thinking, I can get that done. If I can just get that done, then, I'm cruising. No, that's not how I work.
What drives you to be how you are right now? What is your secret? I see your shirt. Show your shirt. I like it. I love it. Redeemed. How do you approach the situations, and how do you prepare yourself for certain situations? What is your secret?
I want the best for everybody, Abraham. So look, I'm going to tell you what. I say this again. I don't know everything, and I am not the sharpest tool in the shed.
I don't like it when he says that either.
But I do love God, and I love people. And my whole goal is to always leave people better than when I first found them, if there's anything good that I can give them. Two things the good book teaches, and number one is to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the second one is to love your neighbor as yourself. Okay? That allows me to care for people because I know that it's not just them. They have to provide for their families. And they need everything they need a job just like I need a job, right? And what I say to them, because many people do goof around and they sacrifice the one thing that provides for the entire lifestyle, and that is their job. Some people out there being cowboys, some people are being careless, some people show up late. Oh, how I hate it when people walk into my morning meetings, even when it's 5-10 minutes before. I want everybody, everybody is usually, you know this, 6:30, 6:45, everybody's already in a circle standing right there waiting for me to see what the plan of the day is going to be.
Because they know you have something to say.
They know that I have prepared. You know, I have things where people are going to be doing, whether it's the same thing or whether there's a change or whether there's going to be a shift sometime in the middle of the day. I just care for people. I get it. You may get that person that's having a really bad day, the first day that you meet them or whatever, or sometime throughout the shift or at any given day. I am that guy that I will tell them, hey, park the rig, go walk it out for a little bit. When you feel better, hop back on it. Or if you don't, and you feel like you need to leave, go ahead and go. Plain and simple. I don't want anybody to be operating equipment angry or sick or really tired to where either they're going to hurt themselves or they're going to hurt somebody else. I care for people that much. So my secret, there is no secret. I know where I am. I know where I stand. I am grateful for where I am at. I am satisfied. I know what I was born to do. And there's nothing or no one that threatens that. Nothing. I know who I am and I know my purpose in life. Does that make sense?
It does.
My purpose in life is to love God, my family, and people. And express it however that looks.
Wow. You said something that love thy neighbor as yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, a lot of these things that happen at work, the animosity, the anger, the whatever it might be, might just be reflection of someone's self-love. So even your bosses, when you feel that they're not expressing that, and this is, man, I learn every time. Yeah, I just realized this right now, that even your bosses go through hard times.
Oh crap! Yeah.
Everybody, right? I mean, that is something that I realized before. But if maybe they're going through a situation at home that brings their self-esteem down or brings something down, and the last thing that they need is an attitude at work. Maybe your attitude towards them, instead of being, you know what, he's mad, well, screw him, I'm going to go do my own thing. Maybe go up to him and, hey, is everything all right? That might just be the turning point.
We are human too, Abraham. Like I mentioned before, running the job is easy. Dealing with everybody's problems and attitudes and everything they're going through is a difficult part. Those are the things that keep you up at night. Those are the things that, doesn't matter how strong you are, how positive you try to be, those are the things that still take a big hit, and you still have to take some time to breathe, go walk away, and retract a little bit. And once you clear your head, come back and figure out how you can continue keeping these things running. Because sometimes it feels like everything all around you is falling apart. And the last thing you want to do is, you never want to just walk away, right? I have walked away from companies that have, it's a relationship where it has to go both ways, right? It's not always me. Have they been wrong decisions? In their eyes, yes. In my eyes, No, because I kept my family, I kept my health, I kept my home, I kept everything together. You see, being in a position of leadership is not easy. It's not. Not only do you have to have it together for yourself, but you have to have it together for everybody else. You have to have answers for everything and for everyone. You know? And you still have to respond to upper management. I am that guy that I will, if I'm gonna cost a project money, if I'm the reason why a project is going a certain direction or whatever, then I will remove myself from it.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
Because I want nothing more than for, you know what, Abraham? You've asked me what success is like one day, right? What being successful in a project. What is it? What do you consider success in a project, right? Success is number one, when everybody goes safe and sound to the family, and when we're a little bit profitable in the projects at the job site. When you get everybody to get along. Maybe not like each other, but if we can tolerate being around each other and working towards the same common goal, and I consider that progress, see?
Yeah.
Success.
I asked my boss one day, I said, getting there is so hard. Once you're there, it's even harder to stay there. How do people do it? And I know that when you watch this, you're probably going to realize what I'm talking about. I'm talking about one of my mentors, Joe Robinson, and just like my brother, you know, I asked him, how do you do it? And he answered with, you have to find a balance. You need to balance work, and you need to balance family life. You need to find that equal where everybody's happy. You are happy, and I understand that not everybody's always going to be happy, but you need to find a balance. Okay? You need to be able to balance your finances, your time at home, your job, and more than anything, yourself, because without you, the job's not going to get done, and your home's not going to be in order. So it's that balance. And I want to thank you guys very much for being here. I want to thank those people who support, those people who like and share. And I want to thank my brother Gustavo for being here today. I've been wanting to have him in here for a long time now, and I finally did. It's just, even myself, I'm trying to find that balance. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Gustavo. I appreciate you, carnal. And until next time, from none to something.